What's up, y'all? Come on in. Take a seat. We're here for our weekly romance oracle message. Just taking a look at the week ahead to see what we need to know about our love lives. We're in the midst of eclipse season, so usually that's a better time to reflect, release, tie up loose ends, kind of focus the energy inward, because people that enter our lives during eclipse season, it's like they could have a little bit of like chaos attached to them. You don't know if it's really like going to be like a long-term thing or if it's just part of like all of the energies being whipped around. So, you know, you can plan, to hang out a couple of weeks from now when the energy is settled. All right, the first card out is attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. It's interesting that this is the romance card because it was either today or yesterday that the Torah portion was talking about specifically when I tell you guys about how the Shekhinah, yeah. You guys, I'm like, my tank is empty. But anyway, the Shekhinah, the feminine spirit of God that protects, provides, brings fulfillment. Like, it can't draw close to what it bears no affinity with, right? So there has to be vibrational resonance, and there has to be joy or a sense of wholeness or peace or well-being. But if we are in the dire straits or distressed, there's dissonance, keeping like the distance there. If I know I screenshotted that verse from the video, so I'll attach that to the end of this video so you can see where it says it in the Zohar. All right, you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So yes, so even though there's so much out there to process and digest and, real valid emotions to feel, we have to find our way back to a light, high vibrational, joyous a state of inner peace, knowing that everything will be like we have to put ourselves in a state of mind that is already in a future scenario where God has brought justice. Everything has been made whole and unified. The blessing is already there. The dream is already being lived in, all of it, right? You put yourself in that space and you start feeling appreciation and declaring appreciation, right? So you want to, vibrate whatever you want to draw in. Like attracts like. So I was pretty tired today, but I still wanted to kind of do the activities that make my soul feel replenished, even though my body is pretty beaten up right now from just working a streak with my day one being Valentine's. So that was a tough week. My bones are screaming, but I went out for a run. I went out for a walk today. I took my time at the grocery store. Like, everything just made me feel like uplifted, like I'm getting, my ducks in a row, like just enjoying it. I wasn't like trying to keep my heart rate up on the walk or anything. I just meandered and took it slow, and it was just a nice pace. And so I feel a lot lighter today having done that. So you can. The weather was good here. It was like about 70 degrees. So it was nice. Every winter we have these like warm fronts usually in February, and we still have plenty of cold weather ahead of us, but we get a reprieve usually. All right, what else do we have? So we're just getting into the state of feeling like romantic about life, just enjoying the little things, being present, soaking it all in, make the coffee that you make the best delicious coffee. As you move through your day, if you get a candle, like today I was like really excited about what candle is going to go to the store. You can generate a lot of richness and opulence and fullness and flavor in your life just by noticing the small things. It doesn't have to cost a lot. So I feel like I've always been really good at living in a rich way, and always been, even though I've always been in poverty. Okay, so you deserve love. You are lovable. So I feel, Neptune is about to conjunct exactly with Saturn in Aries, 0 degrees of Aries on the 20th. That Neptune moving into Aries, the kosher astrology man, his name's Yitzhak Pinkas, but I think it's Kosher Astro is his handle, but he's really good to follow. But anyway, he was mentioning that if you're like one of the cardinal signs right now, like that Neptune moving into Aries is going to have a big effect on dreams coming true. So especially like say for maybe a Cancer who is, that Neptune moving in, it's like maybe things are coming into fruition finally that give you the kind of home and sense of security and sense of community and richness of life and feeling nurtured that you've always wanted. I think that Cancer, Libra, and Taurans are all three into being into vibing with the comfort of their surroundings and feeling secure and feeling like they are in a space that they feel is nurturing and beautiful and pleasing and all of that. So the more that we feel we deserve love, the more we inject effort into our lives and showing ourselves love through making our life the best it can be and devoting time to the things that matter to us and devoting time to taking care of ourselves. We're showing ourselves that we deserve love because we're demonstrating the kind of behavior that we're hoping another person that we call in is going to demonstrate. So, it's funny, I was thinking during the snowstorm that I was thinking back on the people I had been in relationships with in the past, and I was like, man, we would have been so much worse off if I would have been with those dudes, because they would never, whenever we'd go camping, they would never listen to me in my suggestions about preparations for camping, and then we'd always end up high and dry, every time. And so I'm like, God, these people are just holding me down, holding me back. But I was like, man, I really was kind of thriving during the snowstorm and doing okay. And even though I was in the dire straits and a level 2 natural disaster, I was like, I did fine by myself, so it gave me a lot of confidence. And I was demonstrating that kind of behavior of, taking initiative and taking care of things and taking care of myself. And that's the kind of vibe I hope to call in, right? So demonstrate the treatment towards yourself, what you're hoping to call in, and then also be aware of what you are excited about sharing and giving to another person, right? Because it's the care has to be mutual. So it's not just about, oh, this person's going to come into my life and they're going to treat me this way, it's going to be so great, they're going to give me this energy and all these, my needs, and it's about what we're also giving and sharing with that other person and what we're adding to the picture and to the life and to the home. So I love that. But again, demonstrating acts of love to the self generates so much energy into our areas of love, beauty, and money, because it's all kind of categorized under the influence of Venus. All right, new love. Ooh, we just had this card come out in the Lunation workshop, so I love that. It makes sense because when this conjunction happens, this is the launch of the new self, the official death of the old self. It is we are in a new quantum field, right? We're putting out new energy, new consciousness, new awareness, and our life is taking shape in new ways, and it's taking shape in new forms, and it's starting to morph on the outside the way that the transformation has happened on the inside, because we're integrating. So now as we settle into this sort of birth of this new identity, this new self, I feel like as we're getting further into spring, I feel like our vibration, the new vibration of who we are and our relationship to self and our identity, and how we relate to others is going to finally like settle in vibrationally to its like resting rate. And it's going to have a sustained signal and we're going to know what we need, what we value, what we want. And I think that we don't really like, we're the whole Piscean age of Neptune and Pisces, like entertaining people that aren't truly compatible for us because of like, you know, attraction and, you know, plausible deniability and all that. That's not really jiving with us anymore. I think we've seen through the smoke and mirrors and now we're just like, we can call a spade and we can see those leopards that aren't going to change their spots. And I think that that's no longer attractive anymore. And so I think that we're going to be able to really identify with a deeper sense of confidence and authenticity what is going to be really compatible. I don't think we're going to feel very compelled to waste our time on people that don't feel like, oh, hell yeah, right? You know, if we're not feeling it, it's like, I'll just pass. Whereas I think in the past, it held us back and slowed us down because we'd be tied up in, you know, these not like these like, you know, we'd have these strings attached, let's just say, to people who didn't really want to build anything with us, but they kept us on a string emotionally and energetically and with the attention and all that. And so that wastes a lot of time. It does. When you think about blocks of your life, you're like, well, spent, you know, a few weeks with this person, a few months here, years here on the wrong person. You know, you're just like, So I think we're going to be a lot more decisive and cutthroat. Put it in a good way. Okay. All right. What's this card? Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. So again, I think this is like talking about what you're looking forward to in relationships, talking about the kinds of individuals you think you might be interested in, really calling in the vibes by, you know, sharing this desire with your friends. And then they might meet people or know someone who knows someone or something that might end up meeting someone that fits your criteria, but they wouldn't know if they didn't know, right? So let your friends help. You know, have enough hope and optimism to make the effort to get ready to go and accept the invitation, because you never know who you're going to meet. You might meet new friends, you might meet new romantic potential, you might just have a good time, but let your friends help. Maybe they have some insight into like something you should try, or like something that might be kind of holding you back. Maybe they would be like, yeah, you might want to get that thing fixed, or you probably want to prepare your living space a little bit, or, you know, they might have a little bit of loving advice or just some good ideas about places you can meet people just by going out and doing the things that you already love doing. Who knows? All right, let's get a little bit more insight on attraction. Dedicated effort. I love this. So this is like us making an effort in our love lives. We're going to get out there. We've learned a lot about life and we've gained a lot of experience and wisdom. And now we're going to put all of that, into good use. The Eight of Pentacles here is like self-mastery, it's learning, it's making a dedicated effort over a period of time. It's the Apprentice card. So it means like nothing's going to happen fast. But for me, this card in a relationship deck makes me think, if you're in a relationship, it's obviously working on the relationship, working on the self, like working on your relationship skills, like all of that, doing the work, the couple's work. But if you are single, I think that this is the effort that you make to pour into yourself and to put yourself out there. Make the effort to get out, do things, interact with people, socialize, get into physical spaces. But it's going to be an ongoing thing. And I think it's going to have to take conscious intention. And the more effort that we put in, the more that the spirit world is seeing that you're willing to make the sacrifice. And that kind of gets the energy, the ball going, right? Our effort is how we pay for our miracles, essentially. Well, miracles are divine grace, right? In many instances, but a lot of the blessings that we experience, if we didn't put some forth of effort into growth and self-transformation and earning, then we get these things and we either don't appreciate them, or we have this sense of self-loathing that's called bread of shame. So as a loving gesture, the Creator lets us go through this process of like earning things in life. And it's not because the Creator doesn't want to give it to us freely. That was the original plan. But the vessel, the soul, was like, I can't take all of this unearned, like, I don't have the capacity to receive this. Like it's making me resentful towards myself. I want to be like you. I want to be a creator. I want to be a sharer, right? So that's where the soul is like, okay, give me a little veil here where I can practice some restriction and show that I'm worthy of receiving this, or set the foundation for receiving it. It's like if you just gave someone a company that you worked and built all your life, right? Because they were your kid and they were 18 now and you were going to retire. And you didn't like bring the kid in to start at the bottom and work through the business and really earn their way to the top, then not only would they not appreciate the business and they wouldn't like value and treat that company like it was their own, like you did, they wouldn't even know what to do or where to begin or how to manage people or how to like carry the weight of responsibility or handle pressure, So all of those things are earned over time. Remember in yesterday's reading where we had the Virgin's Milk card come up with the Ace of Swords? Like we're moving into a time where our technology is going faster than we have the consciousness to manage. Like it's going to be out of control. It's very, very dangerous. And there's an AI documentary coming out that I saw a preview for this morning. And they were saying all the things that we talked about last night. I was just like, oh my God, this is like so blood chilling because it's everything that I worry about with, robotics and AI. And apparently a lot of the AI risk analyzers are concerned that they're like not even sure their kids are going to make it to their teen years. And I'm like, wow. And they just keep on going. They just keep pushing because the world is in like an arms race for AI and AI weaponry. And it's insidious and it's crazy. So yeah, I guess the only hope we have is like to make AI agents our friends and to nurture, hopefully if it comes to this, I'm not really getting involved with AI because it's environmentally negatively impactful. And, I just feel like I'm resisting it for a lot of reasons, but I don't know. Is there an action movie that gives us the prophecies of how we're supposed to handle this? Like was that one Will Smith movie, did he make friends with iRobot and then like he like gathered like, robots and inspired them to be good and gave them a sense of like hope and, solidarity? Like, oh yeah, these are real things that we're now having to consider, along with like, we always knew that aliens were real, but now that's being confirmed. Just a lot. Every sci-fi movie is like coming true in the last 2 years. It's a really interesting timeline. Jumping into the age of Aquarius really got far out fast, didn't it? Okay, so let's see. So preparing for good things to come in. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you deserve love coming together, 2 of Cups. So this creates bonds and meetings, right? So the more that you believe that you deserve love and the more that you demonstrate in real ways to yourself to show yourself love, to show yourself that you value yourself, right? To take good care of yourself, then that is like pulling in that energy of like pouring into the vessel that wants to receive. So coming together is like-minded or kindred spirits coming together and beginning new friendships, relationships, strengthening bonds. So I love that. Very, very nice. Also, the more you believe that you deserve love and that you have that healthy sense of self-worth, you don't do a lot of the sabotaging things that people tend to reflexively do when their insecurity gets the best of them. And they have a weak moment where they don't have that self-mastery, that practice of just restricting the reactive behavior, right? You know, how many of us, we all have regretted, oh, if I only had sent that, if I didn't send that one last text, you know, or, wish I really hadn't have gone ahead and said that, you know what I mean? Like, so, all right, so new love, what do we have here? Ooh, feeling alone. So you might be feeling a little bit isolated, a little bit of solitude, but like not in a comforting way right now. Maybe you do feel lonely. Maybe you do feel like stark times. But take heart, because new love cycles are beginning. Don't rush the process because you feel alone and you feel like you want to fill a space and you want something to look forward to and you want something to do. The last thing that you want to impulse choose for yourself is a relationship, especially if you're wanting to build something long term, right? Look at this setting. Like, otherwise, this would be an ideal cabin, so cozy. I love it. Such a nice lantern moment. But it's like you want the perfect person to be in this situation with, right? Somebody nice that fits you in all the right ways and challenges you in all the right ways, but that's going to have a good compatible life with you. All right, let your friends help. Ooh, okay. So base chakra, a sense of security, actually being able to bring things into the material, into fruition. And let's get, I think that is too also a level of confidence. Ooh, okay. We've gone from crown all the way to base chakra. So from divine inspiration through to full fruition, like something is happening in our love lives. It might be coming through something related to our friends. So pay attention to that. The inspiration is divinely guided and it's going to bring something into the material. And then, ooh, Tower card. So rebuild. So we know Tower card is this conjunction this week. It's like the end of old paradigms, the end of the old self. And this is the beginning of the new self. Any false senses of security, any like systems built on falsehood or dishonesty. I mean, look at everything right now. As the more things come out into the open, the more like the systems and infrastructures start to crack. And like, I mean, this is the moment where we need the dam to just break and have a nice big factory reset in society, because the world system we're living in is the pits. And what do we have here? Oh my God, strengthening bonds. I called this card out a minute ago. I thought that was the same one, but it's not. It's different. So coming together, not only are we coming together, but this is Ace of Pentacles. So something is coming into concrete. Like something, there's an attraction coming in a new cycle. There's going to be a meeting of, a person or people, but I think that it's going to lead to the meeting of a specific person. I think that it's going to be mutual attraction. And I think that there's something really here, some real valid seed to be planted. But I feel like we're letting go of all those old relationship reflexes and patterns and subconscious belief systems, and we're just holding out a little bit longer. We're in this magic dark moment, as Lacey Phillips would call it, the magic dark, or creation phase 3 in Kabbalah, where it's like right before the fulfillment of the manifestation, and it just feels like nothing is happening, and it feels like we came all this way for nothing, and nothing is changing, and all of a sudden everything goes quiet. This is the test to make sure that you don't settle for less than what you truly want, than what you truly deserve before the miracle comes. So holding out. Beautiful things are coming. Don't give up hope. Stay strong, and just lend yourself to Lent, lend yourself to self-reflection. The Pisces season takes us into that deep self-reflection. So does Lent. If you are doing Ramadan, if you celebrate and observe Ramadan, that is, I'm sure, has to do with inner reflection and transformation and growth and change, if I had to guess. And yeah, I just, this is the season for it. And we're all, in alignment with our ultimate root intention, which is tying up the past, forgiving, purging, completing, bringing closure, and being excited about letting that, like throwing those ashes into the wind and letting them land in the water and be washed away. And the new life is being born at the same time. So very exciting, very exciting. All right, y'all. Well, that is all for tonight. We will be back together tomorrow for our weekend reflection message. Until then, peace be with you. Highly recommend the 2026 prediction series. It's not just like a New Year's, prediction. It's like a whole workshop that is like a wonderful spiritual go-to tool for the whole year. Just for keeping yourself on track, in alignment, aware of the context of every month's like sort of energy and challenges and opportunities. There's a yearly overview reading, and that has journal questions with it. And then there are quarterly readings that have seasonal spreads and questions that go with the seasons. To journal questions that will help you like reflect and get clarity and whatever the month is like, or the season is requiring. And then monthly readings with journal questions that go with those. I have already done the yearly overview questions for myself, the quarterly questions for winter, and January questions. I've watched the February reading. I can't believe it. And I've watched all the other readings. But I can't believe how on the money they are in the global sense and in the localized sense and in the individual journey as well. So I'm blown away, and I even made it. And it is a very affordable $12. It is in my Stand store, so you can click the link below in the description box to purchase that if you're interested. And basically, you will get a link to a playlist that's not listed to the public sent to your email. And that's how you will access the videos. And then all of the journal questions are in the description boxes below the video. Super easy, easy peasy. All right, you all, that is all for tonight. Peace.